So I'm finally getting around to listing some stuff that I have laying around for trucks, and that toolbox right there is the first item that's going up for sale. I'm also gonna list the stock set of mirrors that I have packaged away nicely in this box right here. So you can see they're all wrapped in bubble wrap and nice fabric, nice cloth pouches so that they don't get scratched up and beat up. Even though they're used, I want to take care of them. I am listing the HY35 too, so I'm gonna list this thing on Craigslist and look to get rid of it. I was gonna keep this as a spare turbo just in case, but I don't think we're gonna have a need for it really here in the near future, so you guys can take that hint for what it is, and this thing is now for sale. We got a set of injectors there in the box, and I have stuff like the stock air filter and just some other crap that I've changed and switched on the truck, and I just got this old stock stuff and the old parts that I took off the 24 valve just sitting here laying around. And I was gonna hold on to all this stuff and keep it, I guess, as spares backups, but I don't need spares of mirrors and air boxes because let's face it, man, I guess more or less I was thinking of keeping this stuff in case I ever sold the truck. So if somebody wasn't willing to meet me at what I wanted for the Cummins, if I were to sell it, you know, I'd pull the injectors out and put the old ones back in, or pull the air intake off and put the old one back on, something like that, just to kind of meet them in the middle or where they were comfortable paying for the truck. And I'm also going to sell the brand new track bar that I have in the garage. I do have a new track bar for the Cummins, but I'm not going to use it, and I don't need to change the track bar on the truck right now anyways. So we're gonna list that thing up for sale. Hopefully someone out there needs a track bar for their Dodge can use it. We'll take that off my hands as well. But welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. Today, as promised, we are going to start looking at the fuel system on the truck and seeing what we can't find, if we can come up with anything that we need to fix, repair, anything that's loose that we got to tighten down. So let's just jump into it. I'm gonna start right up here underneath the hood. I think the old girl is cooled down enough to where, yeah, it's all right. If I burn myself a little bit, then so be it. I think she's cooled off enough though to where I should be able to sneak in there with a 19mm crow's foot, get on those fuel lines that run to the injectors off the VP44 injection pump. And then I also want to feel around back there a little bit, see if I can't find that fuel return on the back of the head, see if that thing is loose at all, if I can get on it to tighten that down. Well, all right, that did not take us too long, and I am almost willing to bet, or at least I'm not gonna say I'm willing to bet. I'm just gonna say I'm hoping that we just fixed our problem. We know that the 24 valve has 0 codes in it right now due to doing the key trick and getting the message P done and going back to the mileage. So in the last couple of videos, I have mentioned that I don't think I have a VP44 injection pump problem, and that I think the fuel system, the fuel lines, are what was causing the problem that I was experiencing, as in hard starts, especially once the truck is warmed up. And you know, thinking back, I've always kind of had this smell of diesel fuel, and I just kind of always thought that it was because the little valve on the fuel filter housing will just drip once in a while, and I thought that it was just dripping on some stuff and giving me that odor. But after reaching my hands into the back of the engine bay, feeling on the back of the head just below the valve cover where the fuel return banjo bolt is, I was able to get a wrench in there and try to feel if that thing was loose, and sure enough, that banjo bolt was loose. I probably got almost a full rotation, or a little more than a full rotation out of it in order to tighten it back down. So that tells you how loose that thing was and how much it's worked its way out. God only knows how long that thing has been loose for, especially as loose as it is, but it definitely it was not tight, and I probably, like I said, got a full rotation or a little more than a full rotation out of it in order to snug it back down. I tried so many different wrenches because I can't see back there. I'm doing everything by feel, like Helen Keller here, working on a 24 valve Cummins. I finally ended up getting some luck with a 17 millimeter, but I originally was thinking that it would be a 19 mil or a 3/4, but this one is slightly smaller, and it was a 17 millimeter on the back of the head there, just below the valve cover where your fuel return is. And then it runs from a line there, or I should say the line will run off your VP44 injection pump to a little T down on the side of your block in that area, and it splits there and runs up to the back of the head, and then the other portion of the line runs down underneath the truck back to your tank. So that's how the fuel return is set up and works on here. But if you guys are experiencing any like loss of fuel pressure, or you're not getting the fuel pressure that you thought you once had or you should have, you're experiencing some minor hard starting issues like I was, check that banjo bolt fitting for sure on the back of the head, see if it is loose and if it can be tightened down. I am hoping that that just solved my problem and that we don't get any codes back on the truck, that the VP44 injection pump is good. I guess only time will tell whether or not we start to experience any type of issue with the VP44, or if the symptom didn't go away by tightening down that banjo bolt, or if it did and it comes back, we'll cross that road when we get there. We will keep checking for codes to see if they stay cleared and gone. So everybody just keep your fingers crossed, because like I said, if we don't have to do the VP44 injection pump on the Cummins right now, then that's going to open a couple of other doors that we can walk through and bring some different parts in for the truck. Really quick though, I do want to roll down underneath the truck and show you the fuel lines from the Fast Platinum 150, so you can get a kind of a sense of how those are and the condition of them. So like this little one right here definitely has some splitting and cracking in it, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and replace that. I'm pretty sure that this is 3/8. I don't think this is 1/2 inch. So I think I actually have some 3/8 inside the garage, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this off and get a new piece of hose right here, just because that is looking pretty rough. But as far as the other lines, to be honest with you, they're not in bad shape at all. They really are not in bad shape at all. So I think our fuel lines down here underneath the truck they're good. I think our motor here on the Fast Platinum is good. It's doing its job, maintaining our fuel pressure. We are going to be changing this water separator filter here on the Fast Platinum soon, and we will do a video on that, how to do that for anybody who doesn't have one of these or doesn't know how to do it. And we will also do a video on when to change filters, how much time and stuff in between filter changes. So we will get a video like that out there on the channel as well. At some point we need to drain this guy and the transmission and get new fluid in both of them, so that's going to be coming. I do want to get that done sooner than later. I do want to fire up the truck real quick though and just see how she starts up. Even though it's been sitting for quite some time now and is all cooled off, we won't really get a sense of whether or not we still have that hard start, because the truck never really had an issue starting while it was cold. But the real test will be tomorrow morning when we get to work. After our long drive out, we will shut the truck off and try to crank it over shortly after that. Give it like 15-20 minutes and we'll try to crank it over and see if it has that little hesitation or not still, after we got that banjo bolt tightened down on the back of the head. Fuel pressure gauge still right up there around 16.5, 17 psi, so nothing really changed at all there. I don't know how much of a difference tightening that banjo bolt down is gonna make. Like I said, we will find out more tomorrow once we get out to work and we drive the truck. It gets hot, we can shut it off and then try to crank it, see if it still has that minor hesitation to it, and just keep an eye on codes to see if they come back, see if we have anything popping up with that VP44 injection pump. But I'm hoping with any luck right now that we are in the clear and hopefully things are good. I am going to replace that little bit of fuel line down there on the Fast Platinum 150 and just get that squared away so that there's a fresh piece of hose on that, because that one does have some dry rot and cracks in it. So we need to do something about that, get that patched up. Other than that, that is going to do it for this video. Like I said though, if you're having some minor hard starting issues, you think you have a minor fuel leak and you've looked everywhere and can't find it, don't forget to check that banjo bolt fitting on the back of the head just below the valve cover. It is a tight squeeze to reach in there. You basically do have to lay across the top of the valve cover and just reach both hands in there. It's easier to access it from the passenger side and get your wrench on it there because you do have more room in behind the heater core hoses. So check that one out, make sure it's tight and snug. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you're stopping into the channel for the first time, you're new here, hit that subscribe button, bro. Don't even think about it, just hit it. Join the family. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. I just wanna